Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Lions 44, Leinster 12. A massive bonus point victory for the home side, who put on a bit of a clinic in terms of how to take your chances when they present themselves. And they very much put themselves back in that top 8 race, desperately trying to get to the URC playoffs for the first time, as well as very importantly, that Champions Cup qualification for Leinster. Well, they will remain 1 point ahead of Glasgow Warriors and within touching distance. The Bulls were to win with the bonus point today. They could go within 4 points of Leinster. So it makes life a little bit interesting. It'll be interesting to see the type of team Leinster put out next week as well. Yeah, a very interesting time of the season. Before we break the game down, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So we know it wasn't the strongest Leinster side, but at the end of the day, you've got to beat what's in front of you. And that's what the Lions did. And they started like house on fire. And I thought this was going to be a very straightforward victory. Morney-Vandenberg went over within the first minute. Brilliant early try. Nahamba with the extras. Nahamba with the penalty. Marius Lowe then going over before Franco Horn went over. Kieran Horn rather went over in the 13th minute. So at 14 minutes, 20 points to 0, you're thinking, game dead and buried. Really. Wasn't necessarily the case. After that, the Lions basically, I wouldn't say imploded, but they just stopped playing. And Leinster had basically attacked Lions for 20 minutes. Credit to the Lions. Leinster did have 2 disallowed tries, rightfully, in my opinion. But the Lions' defense was very good today. But they just couldn't get any momentum. Second half, the same thing, to the point where the Lions being 22 points to 0 up, actually took a 3-pointer in the 48th minute, simply because they just didn't feel they had any momentum. And then the comeback came. Kieran Frawley went over for Leinster's first try, 25 points to 7. They had momentum. You started thinking, ooh, another try, and this could maybe yet get interesting. But Emmanuel Stuka, they literally, we had an intercept try from Sinea Nahamba. We had a loose ball come off the side, a good turnover, and then a kick in behind. The Lions were really good in the counter-attack. Frawley went over for a second in the 62nd minute, and then the final sort of 5 minutes, Shatuka went over in the 75th, and then Franco Horn going after the hooter. So 2 late tries to make it 44 points to 12. Massive victory. So important for the Lions, who played quite a slow game. Discipline wasn't great either, but you can't complain about such a game. And the confidence that they'll get from that will be absolutely immense. In terms of some of the stats, territory-wise, Lions just 30%, 34 and 36% of the game being played inside the Lions territory. 36, the game was played the most in the Lions 22, which tells you a very interesting story. Similarly with possession, for example, 62% for Leinster throughout the entire 80 minutes. Set play scrums, Lions scrum was pretty strong. They can see, I think, 1 penalty, but won a couple. Their lineouts were hopeless, absolutely hopeless. At one stage, when PJ Butt was still on, they had a 50% lineout success rate. Leinster, on the other hand, much more polished line, 94% over there. On the attack, post-contact meters, Leinster running 352, Lions 201. Ball carries, Leinster more than twice what Lions had. Lions had more line breaks, though, to be fair. In terms of turnovers, lost 13 by Leinster, 10 from the Lions. Penalties, 12 conceded from the Lions, 10 from Leinster. Defensively, this is probably where the game was won for the Lions. 164 tackles made, 28 missed, 85% tackle completion, compared to Leinster's 67 tackles made, 22 missed, and 75%. And Jacques Nienaber will be very frustrated, I think, at the defense of effort. That's what they've been trying to fix the entire season. And whilst, yes, it is a rotated side, and I think that's probably the big issue. Obviously, when you rotate, you're playing with players you're not used to playing with, and I think especially defensively, and in the system, you have to know the system so well. But if you look at some of the top players, for example, the top tacklers, Marius Lowe with 18, Morne-Vandenberg with 17, Shtuka with 15, so massive graph being done over there. On the attack, for example, meters carried, Andrew Vandenberg with 93, Richard Creel with 63, Rob Russell with 54. Defenders beaten, Charlie Inget's had a good game with 7, Emmanuel Shtuka, the man of the match, with 7 as well. So some good performances over there. Look, I think for the Lions, it's one more win at home, and then they're going on the road, but they're starting to play some very important matches, because they've got Munster next week. It could be a very strong Munster, and then they've got to go and beat the likes of Cardiff away and potentially Glasgow Warriors away before being away for Stormers. So they've only got one more home game. They have to make that count next week. They cannot afford to slip up. This top 8 is so crowded that a single victory can be the difference, and a single loss can see you drop out of that top 8. But let me know what you thought about the game down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve, and I'll chat to you soon.